Hello everyone, welcome to the Needle Magic. Today we are making these beautiful roses, and for this I have used a 3.5mm crochet hook, and I've also used this type of a metal wire, and I've made them with pink color. You can use any color that you like, and of course green for the base of the flower and the stem and leaves. And I have used glue gun. So let's begin. We'll start with the slip knot बनाएंगे, and now I'll be chaining 26. You can increase or decrease the number of your foundation chain according to the size you want. If you want a bigger flower, then you can increase the number of your foundation chain, pattern will be the same, and if you want a smaller one, then you can decrease the number of your foundation chain. So I'll be chaining 26, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So I've made 26 chains. आप अपनी chains बढ़ा या घटा सकते हैं. आपको बड़ा फ्लावर चाहिए तो आप अपनी फाउंडेशन चेन आपको बढ़ानी है. ज़्यादा नंबर ऑफ चेन्स होनी चाहिए आपकी फाउंडेशन चेन में, और अगर आपको छोटा फ्लावर चाहिए तो आप इसे कम भी कर सकते हैं. तो जितनी बड़ी आपकी फाउंडेशन चेन होगी आपका फ्लावर उतना ही बड़ा बनेगा. नाउ वील skip 1, 2, 3, 4 chains and we'll go into the 5th chain from the hook and we'll make a double crochet stitch. तो 4 chains को skip करेंगे, 5th वाली chain में एक double crochet stitch बनाएंगे, and this is our V stitch. The 3 chains will be counted as our double crochet stitch and 1 chain will be counted as our chain 1 space, and we have made another double crochet stitch. So now we'll skip the next chain and go into the next and make a V stitch. तो एक chain को skip करेंगे और next वाली chain में V stitch बनाएंगे. So we'll go into the next chain, make a double crochet stitch, chain 1 and another double crochet stitch in the same chain. So this will make our V stitch. Then again we'll skip the next chain and go into the next one and make a V stitch. So double crochet stitch, chain 1 and another double crochet stitch in the same chain. So this is the pattern for this row. We have to keep repeating this until we reach the end of our foundation chain. तो हम एक को chain को skip करके next वाली chain में जाके एक V stitch बनाएंगे. So skip the next, go into the next and make a double crochet stitch, chain 1 and another double crochet stitch in the same chain. So this will create a V stitch. Then again skip the next chain and in the next we'll work another V stitch, skip the next, and in the next one we'll make a V stitch. So we are skipping one and working in the second chain. So एक एक chain को हम skip करते जा रहे हैं and एक एक में work कर रहे हैं V stitch. Then again we'll skip the next one, go into the next and make a V stitch, double crochet stitch, chain 1 and another double in the same chain, skip the next, go into the second one, make a V stitch, then again skip the next, go into the second, make a V stitch, then again skip the next, go into the next and make a V stitch, then we'll skip the next chain, go into the next and make a V stitch here, and here we have our last chain left. So I'll be doing another V stitch in the last chain. So row 1 is done. Now let's start with our row number 2. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this counts as our first double crochet stitch for the next row. and now we have to work in the chain 1 spaces. So we have made these V stitches and we have these chain 1 spaces between the V stitches, so we'll be working in them now. तो इस chain 1 space में हम work करेंगे अब. So we'll go in the chain 1 space, make a double crochet stitch. So we have the chain 3, which is our first double crochet stitch. We have made one, so we have 2 now. Now we'll chain 1 and make 2 more in the same space. So 2 more double crochet stitches in the same space. So here we have made a double V stitch. तो ये हमने यहाँ पे double V stitch बना लिया, जो होते हैं 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 और 2 double crochet stitches. So we have made a double V stitch here with 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 double crochet stitches in the same space. Now we'll go into the next chain 1 space and work a double V stitch, which is 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 more double crochet stitches in the same space. So here we have created another double V stitch. So this is the pattern for this row. In every chain 1 space we have to make a double V stitch. तो हर chain 1 space में double V stitch बनानी है हमने. So for the double V stitch we have to just make 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1, 2 double crochet stitches in the same space. Now we'll go in the next chain 1 space, 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 more in the same space. Then in the next V stitch, the chain 1 space, we'll create double V stitch. In the next V stitch, the chain 1 space, we'll make a double V stitch. So 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 more in the same space. And we have to keep repeating this until you complete your row. So I'll complete this row and then show you what to do next. I've almost finished the row and now I'm on my last V stitch. So here in the previous row I was left with 1 chain. If you're left with 2 chains after the V stitch, you can skip one and do a V stitch in the last chain. I was left with only 1 chain here, so I did a V stitch in the last chain without skipping any, because I was left with only 1 chain. So it won't matter if you're left with 2 chains or 1. You have to just do a V stitch in the last chain. So now we are at the V stitch of this row, the last V stitch. So we'll be doing a double V in the V stitch. So 2 double crochet stitches, chain 1 and 2 double crochet stitches. Now chain 1 and turn your work. Now we'll be working in the chain 1 spaces of the double V stitch. So we have to make 8 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space of the double V stitch. So we'll go in the chain 1 space and start making double crochet stitches. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we have worked the double crochet stitches. Now what we have to do is the space in between the 2 double V stitches. Now is the time we'll go in and we'll work a single crochet stitch there. Now the chain 1 space, we'll work 8 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the double crochet stitches will only be worked in the chain 1 space, and the space in between the 2 double V stitches we'll work only single crochet stitches. So 1 single crochet stitch in the space between the 2 double V stitches. Then again in the chain 1 space we'll be working 8 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then again we have a space here between 2 double V stitches. We'll just go in there and make a single crochet stitch. And then again we have to work 8 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space of the double V stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Then again we have a space here between the 2 double V stitches. We'll just go in there and make a single crochet stitch. And this is the pattern we have to keep repeating until we reach the end. And this is the last row, and then we can just fold it into beautiful rows. So I'll just complete this and then I'll show you what to do next. So you have to just keep doing 8 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space and 1 single crochet stitch in the space that is in between the 2 double V stitches. So you have to be very careful while working these, because you have to work the double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space and then a single crochet stitch in the space between the 2 double V stitches. So you have to just keep repeating this until we reach the end. I'll complete this and then show you what to do next. I've completed the row here. The row is completed now. And after doing the 8 double crochet stitches in the double V stitch, I'll just go into the top chain, the chain 3 at the beginning that we made, and I'll make a single crochet stitch here. And now chain 1 and fasten off, leaving a long tail which will be used to sew the flower. So this is done now. Now let's make the leaf. So for the leaf we'll start with the slip knot. And now we have to chain 10. So 10 chains बनाएंगे. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we'll go into the second chain from the hook and we'll do a slip stitch. Then we'll go into the next chain and make a single crochet stitch. Then in the next chain we'll work a half double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a treble crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a half double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a single crochet stitch. And in the last we'll work a slip stitch. And then now we have to work on the other side of the foundation chain. So just twist your work so that we can work on the other side of the foundation chain. ये foundation की दूसरी foundation chain की जो दूसरी side है हम यहाँ work करेंगे. And we have to do the exact same. So here first we'll do a slip stitch. Then in the next we'll work a single crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a half double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a double crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a treble crochet stitch, and I'm working over the yarn tail here. Then in the next we'll work a double crochet stitch. Then a half double crochet stitch in the next. Single crochet stitch in the next. and slip stitch in the last. So here we have done with the leaf. So I'll just chain one and fasten off, leaving a little long tail so that we can attach it to the flower using it. So now we have to make the receptacle of the flower, that is the base of the flower. So we'll make a magic ring. For that we need to make a magic circle. So we'll wrap the yarn on our index finger, go under the first loop and pull the second loop, slide it off your fingers and chain one to secure. तो बेस ऑफ द फ्लावर बनाने के लिए, जो फ्लावर का बेस है उसको बनाने के लिए हमें मैजिक रिंग की ज़रूरत है, तो हम मैजिक सर्कल हमने बना लिया है. नाउ वी हैव टू मेक 10 single crochet stitches in the magic circle. So we'll go in the magic circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we have made 10 single crochet stitches in the magic ring. Now I'm just pulling the yarn tail to close the magic ring, and now we'll go on to the first single crochet stitch that we made and we'll slip stitch to join. Now we'll chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On the second chain from the hook we have to do a slip stitch. In the next we'll make a double crochet, we'll make a single crochet stitch. Single crochet stitch. In the next we'll work a half double crochet stitch. In the next 3 chains we'll work 1 double crochet stitch in each. 1, 2, and in the last 3. Now we are working from here, so after that we have stitches. So we'll skip the next stitch, go on to the next, and we'll slip stitch. So we need to make 5 of these. So one we have already made, we need to make 4 more. So we'll follow the same pattern again and we'll chain 7, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, 1 single crochet stitch into the next chain, 1 half double crochet stitch into the next, 1 double crochet stitch into the next, 1 double crochet stitch into, I think I didn't chain 7. So 7 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So in the second chain from the hook we have to do a slip stitch. In the next we need to do a single crochet stitch. In the next we need to do a half double crochet stitch. In the next 3 we need to do 1 double crochet stitch in each of the next 3. So 1 double crochet stitch in the next, 1 double crochet stitch into the next, and 1 double crochet stitch into the last chain. Now skip the next stitch here, go into the next and do a slip stitch. So here we have 2. Then again chain 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, 1 single crochet stitch into the next, half double crochet stitch into the next, and 1 double crochet stitch in each of the next 3 chains. 1, 2 and 3. Then again skip the next stitch here, go into the next and slip stitch. we need to make 2 more. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, slip stitch, single crochet stitch in the next, half double crochet stitch into the next, and double crochet stitch into the next 3. 1 2 and 3. Then again skip the next stitch, go into the next and slip stitch. And now we need to make one last 2 3 4 5 6 7, slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, single crochet stitch into the next, half double crochet stitch into the next, and double crochet stitch in the next 3 chains. And now skip the next, and the one where we started, we'll just go in and slip stitch and then chain 1 and fasten off. So here the base of the flower is ready. Now we just need to assemble them. So for assembling all of these together, you can use these things. You can use metal wire, you can use these type of sticks, or you can also use brush wires. It's totally up to you. I'm going to use metal wire for this project. So let's start assembling it. And I'll also be using glue gun. So first I'll just straighten the wire. And now I'm going to put it through one of the stitches like this. And now I'll be rotating this and making it into the shape of a flower. So you have to just rotate until we reach the end. So just keep rotating. You can also use glue gun here, but I'll be sewing it with the help of a tapestry needle. And then I'll be using glue gun to add the base of the flower. So here this is done. This is how it's looking. So now we'll take a tapestry needle and we'll just we'll just bring it all together. So it's very easy. You can just go in from one side through all the work done, and then you can come out from the other side, making sure you're going through all the work, and then pull it tight. You can even shape it, and then you can see whether it's looking fine or not. And then you can go in again, come out from the other side, go in, come out. You can do this couple of times, and then when you feel it's secured enough and will not unravel, then you can make a couple of knots and tighten it. And now I'll just make a couple of knots here, making sure that it won't open up. and then again I'll go in from one side, come out through the other, and now I'll cut the yarn from here. So the flower is done. Now we need to add the base. Now I'll be using glue gun to add the base. So here is the base. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So we'll place it this way that the right side is shown out. So first I'll just make a couple of knots and cut the extra yarn from here. Now we'll place the metal wire in first. And then add some glue to it. And just place it. So this is done. Now I'll take some yarn and start wrapping the metal wire. I'll take some green yarn and start wrapping the metal wire so that it's totally covered with the green yarn. तो मैं green color की yarn से इसे पूरा cover कर दूंगी. So I've covered a little wire and now I'll be adding the leaf. So I had left a yarn tail here thinking that I'll join it with this yarn, but I'm just attaching it with a little bit of glue. And then on the yarn tail of the leaf, I'm just going over the green yarn that I'm using to wrap the metal wire. And now I'm using both the yarn tails and wrapping the metal wire. So this is how it's looking so far with the leaf. So I've almost covered the metal wire. Now I'm at the end. I'm just folding it upwards and then completely covering it with the green yarn. And once this is done, then I'll secure it with the glue gun. So here I'll just add some glue. And cover it up totally. And then we can just cut the yarn. So this is how it's looking. So I hope you liked the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Keep crocheting. Be happy. Stay safe. Bye bye.